Up, everybody? I hope all is well. And this is Chris with That Square Sports Podcast, and I am doing the New Orleans Saints draft grades. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually a bit excited for the Saints. So here's the rubric. Here's how it goes. It's wants versus needs. Pretty much, this is where I say this is where the Saints needed to draft versus where they did draft, and where they needed to draft was obviously to me, and my direction was edge rusher, offensive line, receiver. I know. Listen, hear me out, Saints fans. Receiver, running back, quarterback. 5 needs. I'll just say that. They had a lot of work to be done in this offseason when it came to the draft. With that being said, let's dive in. They got that boy Fuaga out of Oregon State. At first, I was pissed because I was like, bro, there's so many defensive players on the board you could pick from to help Cam Jordan. But then the draft kind of went on. Don't worry. We'll dive in more deeper about this. Protect your boy Derek Carr. And as quiet as it's kept, Derek Carr actually is really not a bad quarterback when you watch him. He just got an unfair shake in Las Vegas at this time. Las Vegas. He got a very unfair shake, and that's just the reality of it. That was just what it was with the Raiders. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Respectfully speaking, this tackle probably was the second best tackle in the draft to me, behind Joe Alt. However you want to lay it out, Joe Alt obviously was number 1, but he was probably the second best tackle in this draft. So I really loved that right there for them, of course. So that was good. That was a plus for them right there. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Now, this is where the entire draft got thrown off. And not for the Saints, but just for the rest of the NFL. Because of what they pulled that trigger, obviously the Eagles went next. My Texans went right after that. Everybody went after the corners because it was just a run. Thanks to the, of course, New Orleans Saints. And I noticed that Kool-Aid McKinstry had an injury, but you guys were smart by getting him right out the gate because, now Marshall Lattimore is actually getting older. Let's not act like it doesn't happen in the NFL. But I do love this lockdown corner coming to that division, especially, pretty much Mike Evans is your biggest receiver right now. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Atlanta, they've got Drake London, who hasn't really showed up, probably due to poor quarterback play. Adam Thielen in Carolina. And like I said, when I talk about it, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans down there in Tampa. That's pretty much where I could see it. So him coming down there, I do love Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think that defensive back is a good pick here. Why not? All right, Spencer Rattler, a steal. A steal at quarterback. Get him ready for the future. You guys drafted Ian Book a couple of years back. Did not work out. It's okay. Spencer Rattler has grown up a lot since the Netflix series. So this is really good. And, watching Caleb Williams take his shine, I think changed him dramatically. So that right there, another plus. Bubba Means. All right. Had to put the phone down for a second. Bubba Means out of the University of Pittsburgh. Where do I start? I'm not going to lie. This player is a steal in so many directions. It's not even funny. First things first, in the offense that the Saints have, they have that fast receiver. I think it's Snead, something like that. That boy is fast. Him, A.T. Perry, who I love A.T. Perry. You guys need to utilize him a lot more out of Wake Forest. Big body, can get down and can do some things. A.T. Perry, and of course, Mike Thomas, kind of at the end of his career, I'll say that pretty much. Injuries kind of derailing him. And of course, Johnson, and then of course Taysom Hill, then Kamari. I really like getting this guy right here. You know who he reminds me of? And it's so funny because he's always hurt on your team, is a Michael Thomas. Bubba Means is about the same height, about the same size, actually a bit bigger, stronger, not as fast, I will say that. But Bubba Means is a scary threat receiver in open field. I ain't going to lie. I'd be afraid to tackle a guy like this coming down really fast. If I'm a safety and he gets his hands on the ball, I'm like, God dang it, again. You know what I mean? So this is really a steal for y'all in a lot of ways. I don't think he'll be utilized right away, but I think that, you got to feel for your roster. And I feel like going through all 50 plus guys or whatever, the 53-man roster, however you do it, I think that Bubba Means is going to be that dude that can turn into that X He's got that Des Bryant type feel to him. Des Bryant, Michael Thomas type feel eventually. So I really love this pick right here. Jalen Ford out of Texas, great linebacker, sideline to sideline. I do like him a lot. Chris Boyd, another great run stopper out of Northern Iowa. Really love that. Josiah, I can't even say his last name. Zerman out of Eastern Kentucky. Bad feet, but I think he can be worked on. Obviously, you kind of just wanted to make sure you just pretty much draft him for depth. He could be pushed inside the guard. He does have the length, but I don't want him to, get caught up with the lower leverage guys in the NFL, but I can understand that. But let's break it down. So I said, what did the Saints need to do? They needed to get, of course, obviously, edge rusher, offensive line, corner, wide receiver, running back, and quarterback. So they cover the offensive line, they cover the corner, they cover the receiver, and they cover the running back. Oh, and they cover deep. They do. Nope, they didn't get an edge rusher. They did not get an edge rusher, and they did not get a running back. All right, so that obviously knocks the grade down a lot to me. Now they're in the B+ range. Let's see how they fare. And the reason why I say that is because A+ would have been a great Braylon Allen, Blake Corum, Bucky Irving, somebody to help Kamari out in the backfield. I know that they had a great run with, of course, your boy who loves anime. I cannot even think of his name. He was the cat from I can't think of the cat that used to play for the Packers. I cannot think of his name right now, man. But pairing him up with Kamara, he did decent. I'm not against him. It's just I think that, having a third running back in the NFL is pretty good. Now, granted, they might go and get somebody in free agency or undrafted. That might be a cheaper direction, and I kind of have to see how it plays out. So I'm not going to hold them too much against them because the way the league is going, it's pretty much a pass-happy league. I get it. But I was very mad that they didn't get an edge rusher to help Cam Jordan as he's aging into his older years in the NFL. I really would have loved to have seen that, to somebody in the later rounds, but it is what it is, how the draft may have fared. They probably just thought that maybe, corner was a bigger need. I get it, so I understand. I'm not too bad at it, but I don't mind leaving it right there, getting the 3 out of the 5 at 60%, but I do love the 60% that they picked. So I will go ahead and I'll give them a B+. A B+ is where I see the Saints at. So the Who Dat Nation, before you attack me, put it in the comments and let me know, big dog, and we're going to be rolling from there. Peace.